Hey, hey. Yes, we're live. Hello. Had some technical difficulties, but not for long because I've mastered that. I'm good now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Major Great Sports Network on the Sports Wednesday. I am glad to be here. It is March 19th, 2025, and we are doing fine and well and dandy. Let me just make sure that the everything is working here. Yes. You bring the mic a little bit closer. Hello. Yeah. It's nice and sunny outside. This is a great day, but the day is just not well when you had a little argument with your wife or your husband. It just takes a little you know luster or shine off it, shall we say? Disagreement. And I know. But it's like having a disagreement with your when you have a disagreement with your son or your daughter. That also takes luster off. So I tell you, it's always better when things are going great in the family because when things are going great in the family, nothing else really matters. No, you can get by anything else. Anything else is just gravy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here's the dealio. That's good. I'm going to say a prayer for you. And you know what I'm going to do? Yes, do you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to put on something to keep your attention while I go get my prayer book. Okay? And, you know, and you know, you know what? Uh, what do I got that lasts a little bit of time here? Let's just go right here. This could last a little bit.
We're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game. Not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that, man?
Yes, we were talking about practice, and I need to practice to have my book with me at all times. It, as I listened back on that, it was kind of foretelling that Allen Iverson did not like to practice because Allen Iverson was staying out too late at night, and and that was the problem. hmm And so we were talking about practice. Yeah, Larry Brown was talking about practice, and Allen Iverson wasn't talking about practice. He was talking about the game that he would die for. But Allen, you know, yeah, yeah, you should have practiced more. You should have stayed in the house more. But life is life, and I'm sure you've learned everything you needed to learn about that situation so that you can apply it toward the new situation that you are in life. Now, prayers for victory in spiritual warfare, as you can see. There you go. And that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at prayers for victory in spiritual warfare. I want to make sure of something just before I go any further. Oh, let's just get this. Now, that should be a little bit better. Okay. Had to make sure the microphone was correct. Okay, let's get on to prayers for. We took up the shield of faith on Saturday. Yes, we took up the shield of faith on Saturday. So we are going to take up the helmet of salvation today. We're in the helmet of salvation, chapter 3, winning with thanks. Winning with thanks. I don't know if you can see it there, but that's what it says. It says winning with thanks. Chapter 3, the helmet of salvation. Lord, thank you for making my victory secure. Thank you for not letting anything separate me from you. Even though the circumstances I find myself in can look shaky on many levels, even though I may let myself down in how I respond, I know that your grace covers my sin and gives me another opportunity to give you thanks. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. And letting ourselves down, well, we do that all the time. don't we? We have a situation where we want to respond in a certain way and we didn't respond in a certain way. And we tell ourselves, when this situation happens, this is the way I'm going to respond, but it doesn't work out that way. You know why it doesn't? Because you're trying to control the situation, and instead of letting God in on the situation, we think we can control it. And that doesn't work out too well in life. But we live and we learn. Okay. Today is March 19th, 2025. Birthdays. Birthdays. Now, this birthday was tomorrow. I mean, this birthday was yesterday, and it's one Glenn McDonald. Yes, Glenn McDonald. You know him, right? Glenn McDonald. We want to wish a happy birthday to Glenn McDonald, who was born March 21st. It's actually 2 days away, 1952. And he was born in Kewanee, Illinois, in the United States, of course. Glenn McDonald, as you can see, was a Boston Celtic, and he was a Boston Celtic from 1974 to 1976. And in 1976, Glenn McDonald played a very, very, very huge role in the Celtics, the Boston Celtics winning the NBA championship. And you're wondering, really? Yes. Well, that's been a little while ago and you can't remember. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back in time. Back in time. Back when, well, he made a huge impact.
Glenn McDonald, the second-year pro, checks in, and Charlie Scott goes out. Here's the youngster McDonald giving it back to Cowan. Well, McDonald outside. Will you get set? JoJo tipped it back to Nelson, quickly to Havlicek. Off to JoJo White on the penetration of McDonald, and a beautiful pass, and it was Glenn McDonald who made it 121-18. The Celts can go up by 4. Here's Havlicek inside. McDonald, 2 big field goals for Glenn McDonald. It's him off the bench and played himself a basketball game. It has been that kind of contest. The Celtics are in command, 126 to 120. Glenn McDonald, 2 big baskets, a pair of free throws, a rebound. Silas and Cowens out of the game. It was Glenn McDonald, a second-year pro from Long Beach State, who...
Yes, that was Glenn McDonald. Now you know. Glenn McDonald saved the Boston Celtics in that game because they were going to lose. 2 of their big players had fouled out. Dave Cowens, and Paul Silas. And another one, Charlie Scott, had played a terrible game, and I think he was on the bench with 5. He might have fouled out too. So it was, and Glenn McDonald came out of nowhere. Didn't even see him play the whole year. That's right. He didn't play the whole year. He rode the bench the whole year. And they had to throw him in, and the guy came through, not only making clutch shots, but he made clutch free throws, which is hard to do in triple overtime because that was in triple overtime. That's when he got in the game. They didn't bring him in until people had fouled out the game and they needed to bring him in. And I think it was, the third overtime that he came in. And from that point on, he made the big difference. Ladies and gentlemen. No, actually, I think he came in the second overtime and he lasted throughout the third, and everyone else was tired, but Glenn McDonald was not. So there you go. That is he, Mr. Glenn McDonald. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy birthday to you for playing that huge role in Game 5 of the 1976 NBA Finals, scoring 8 points. And the Celtics won 128 to 126, and they won the championship in 6 games. After leaving the Celtics, Glenn played overseas and eventually retired in 1981. Happy birthday to you. Thanks. Man, you may not be here, in Boston. You didn't stay long, but I tell you, you're not forgotten. Thank you. Happy birthday to you. So we got that out the way. Now, 5 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, this week, 5 years ago, Tom Edward Patrick Brady, on St. Patrick's Day, 5 years ago, on March 17th, he sent a couple of texts through Instagram to announce that, well, he was now a free agent. Couldn't come to reach an agreement before the free agency started with the New England Patriots. And this had started over a year ago. It was over a year ago. And here's the funny thing. The contract he was asking at that time was 25 mil a season. And Aaron Rodgers was making 35 at the time. Aaron Rodgers, one Super Bowl Aaron Rodgers. And Russell Wilson, one Super Bowl, Russell Wilson was making 33. And so he's not even asking to be paid in the 30s. I'm sure, I don't even know how many more, you know what, but we're going to find out. I'm not even sure how many more practically had to be half the NFL quarterbacks were making more than Tom Brady, even with the contract he was asking for. Okay. So he's really given a discount deal on this. So he's given a discount deal. He's asking Bill Belichick, give me a 2-year contract, and we'll get this done, and I'll be back in the fold. I'll be a New England Patriot. I'm your guy. You don't have to worry about distractions from me. But Belichick wouldn't do it. No, he wouldn't do it. Belichick, well, this old saying, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. We'll get to that. But Belichick refused to offer him a contract. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. He didn't offer him a contract. Brady put out that this is what he would like to have, and it was way below the market value, but Belichick didn't acquiesce to that contract or come back with a contract for Brady to sign saying, well, maybe we can, how about 24 and a half, whatever. What he should have did was say, hey, listen, if you want 30, you want 50, you can get it. But Belichick didn't do that. So Tom Brady was now a free agent. And what we wanted to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, is how well that has worked out. Okay? Since how well has it worked out for the Patriots since Belichick pushed Tom Brady out the door? Out the door. Now, I was in the camp, okay? You know what? Let's just play the clip, and then I'll get to how I felt about it at the time. Okay, we can just, kind of cut through the mustard or the mayonnaise, and I'll let you know what I thought. This clip is made 3 years later, when I'm talking about the Patriots and where they are, where they were then. So take a look. The New England area kicked off a new NFL season with a staple of what's been occurring over the last 3 years. Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers shined in a win, and Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots sucked in a loss. It has been 3 years and $300 million spent in free agency for Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, and they still look lost. Actually, to be truthful, the Patriots won their home opener 3 years ago with the guy that Belichick pushed Brady out the door for, one Cam Newton. They beat the Dolphins 21-11, but they looked like crap doing it because Miami created a bunch of turnovers. Cam Newton only threw for 140 yards, going 15 for 19, with the longest completion being 12 yards. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, 12 yards. The Patriot pundits hollered and screamed that this was the beginning of a new era. Bill Belichick, the genius, was going to bring back the running game to the NFL. He was going to use it to run roughshod over the league. He was going to show everyone why the Patriots won for over 2 decades, because he, Bill Belichick, was at the helm. Of course, the Belichick Bobos slapped each other's rumps and beat their chests, and some of them even claimed that by the end of the season, Bill Belichick would have Cam Newton throwing precision passes like Tom Brady did. After all, it was Belichick who made Brady, and if he did that, he could do the same with Cam Newton. They predicted that with Belichick and Newton, the Patriots would not only be in the playoffs once again, they would probably win the Super Bowl. Well, that year, the Patriots went 7-9, and they were lucky to win that many. The league adjusted to Bill Belichick's supposedly newfangled running game, and Cam Newton still couldn't hit a receiver in motion by the end of the season. The team crashed and burned, and of course, they didn't make the playoffs or anything close to it. Tom Brady with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, on the other hand, not only made the playoffs, but won the Super Bowl once again. The Brady fiasco still dramatically affects the New England region. Not only that it happened, but how it happened. With the Patriots never offering Brady a contract. 3 years ago, Tom the Goat Brady just wanted a bottom of the basement $25 million compared to Aaron Rodgers' $33 million and Russell Wilson's $35 million, both of whom had just only won one Super Bowl each. The year before, in 2018, Brady was the 18th highest paid player in the NFL, behind such notables as Derek Carr, Joe Flacco, Jimmy Garoppolo, Eli Manning, Cam Newton, and Phillip Rivers. Though Brady had won the Super Bowl the year before against Atlanta, despite the fact that he would be in the Super Bowl again that year versus Philadelphia, again he might have won if Belichick inexplicably doesn't sit out his starting cornerback, Malcolm Butler, and Brady would win the Super Bowl again that year against the Los Angeles Rams. Tom Brady had taken a discount for the team his whole career and was still willing to do so. But Bill Belichick was having none of that. He wanted him gone. No bottom basement, no clearance, not even that buy one, get one free Tom Brady. With no contract, Tom had no choice but to leave if he wanted to keep playing. And therefore, he ended up in Tampa Bay. Now, before yesterday's thrashing by Miami, there were two vocal contingents on the radio waves in New England. Those who believed the Patriots with Bill Belichick were still magical and were going places. And those who were still sour over the Brady fiasco. But the contingent that would be making the most noise in New England will go to the ones who thought there was still magic in Bill Belichick. They are finally realizing that it wasn't Bill Belichick that made Tom Brady. It was Tom Brady that made Bill Belichick. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, let me switch this out here. Huh? What happened? There I am. Come on, get out there. There. Ladies and gentlemen, what I meant was after that game, okay? After that game where they played Miami, before that game, they were still scuttlebutt going around it. Belichick still has it. This is just a season. It's going to happen now. I mean, and they tried to push away the fact that he pushed Tom Brady out the door for Cam Newton. Who does that? Cam Newton. I mean, sore-arm Cam Newton, not the Cam Newton of the Carolina Panther days of glory. We're talking about the Cam Newton that already sat out a year and a half and hadn't played. That Cam Newton that the Panthers no longer won and said, listen, you can go do what you want, go where you want, be who you want to be, see who you want to see. Yeah, that Cam Newton. They didn't want anything to do with him. Belichick picked him up. Now, I'm not naive enough to think that Belichick pushed Brady out the door without having a backup. Newton was his backup. And it is so astounding that most people can't fathom it. They can't believe it. They think somehow it just happened that, Newton was there because Belichick had told him to stay put. My situation is going to change with Brady, and I have my eye on you. So each one got what they wanted except for Brady. Brady wanted to stay in New England, but he didn't get that. So after that game, that Miami game, the people who were backing Belichick were now really, because see, Newton was gone. He used Newton for 1 year. And when it didn't work out, he jumped from Newton so quick as if he had never seen him. And the reporters around here carried water. They never wanted to investigate any further how this whole Belichick Newton thing came to be so quickly. And now he was jetting himself away because they drafted Mac Jones in that 7-9 season in the draft. And he made Mac Jones. He made Mac Jones a rookie, the starting quarterback. What I'm getting at here is that there was so much talk about Belichick making Brady. Okay, yes, and it had gotten to the point that they thought they were going to make he was going to make Cam Newton a passer, and this and that and that and this, and they were calling Belichick the people around here because the fans like to feel that they're part of the team. So if Belichick's the greatest coach, then and Brady's the greatest quarterback, then they're the greatest fans, I guess. So they wanted to believe Bill Belichick was the greatest coach. But the greatest coach, a great coach, I never saw a great coach jet a quarterback out the door or push him out the door. No, no, a great coach, if he's that great, knows what he's got. He's not going to do that. But Belichick did. And they seem to forget something else that I remember. That without Tom Brady, Belichick has a losing record. I think he's at 40. I think he has he's at 30% or 35%. I'll give him he's a 40% winner, which means he's a loser if Tom Brady's not on this team. Okay? He's only winning 4 out of 10 games, which is what that essentially comes out to. He's losing the other 6. So, you know, um, he's not a great coach. No. No, he's a losing coach if you take Brady out of it. Now, I got to give you this. After watching Mayo last year, I did realize there were a lot of things that Bill Belichick did correctly. Okay, he was a solid coach in that sense. I had to give him his due. He knows how to build a foundation. But let's not forget his last 2 seasons looked a lot like Mayo's first season and last season. Bill had lost his fastball, his ability to communicate with his players, his ability to get through to him, his ability to work with them. He no longer knew how to work with his players because power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. As head coach of the New England Patriots, Belichick had the ability to screw over people, and he had come to a situation or had come to a level where he seemed to enjoy it more than anything else. This was not who he was in the beginning. I mean, when he had been hired by Robert Kraft, he was known as Dr. Doom for being negative and sour in attitude and in personality. Okay, but he was fair and he was honest when it came to dealing with the fans and the players. He was. He came at you honest. He told you the truth. He told you what he thought, and he wouldn't try to mislead you or screw you over. But somehow, in the midst of that, everything changed, ladies and gentlemen. I first noticed it with the Deion Branch negotiations. Deion Branch. Now, this happened way back in 2004. Yeah, Branch had I think he had won Super Bowl MVP at one time, and he was still working off a rookie contract that he had been held under for 5 years because 4 years Belichick hammered his players, hammered the guys that he drafted. They were going to do 4 years with a 5th year being the team option. So he had him for 5 years locked up. And Branch had still been working under that contract since he had been drafted by the New England Patriots. He obviously had outperformed that contract and definitely needed to be upgraded just to show goodwill among your players. Well, Bill Belichick wouldn't do that. He refused to do it. As a matter of fact, he traded Deion Branch in that last option year that he held. He traded him to the Seattle Seahawks. And that was the beginning of it. There had been some other things happening with Ty Law and some other issues with the Roman Pfeiffers of the situation, and the Asante Samuels would be coming later, but when he got away with that, when he got away with trading uh, Tom Brady's favorite receiver and a Super Bowl MVP, when he got away with trading in that, then it's just the whole thing changed. Okay, he could get away with anything, and it just really started going south as far as his personality, as far as dealing with his players. He would never treat, not that I could remember, he would never treat a player with respect after that. No, he would never talk about them with respect either, as far as I could tell when I listened to him. We know that the years in the NFL are numbered. NFL means not for long. NFL, not for long. No matter who you are, unless you're Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, and maybe a couple of other people. But it's and he could hold that over them, and he did hold that over a lot of players. Um, Seymour, Vrabel, Mankins, Logan Mankins. Wow, did he treat him badly? Tyler, Pfeiffer, Butler, Brady, Asante Samuels. The list goes on and on and on and on. And as I revisit Tom Brady being forced out the door by Bill Belichick, I still feel the same way. It was the dumbest move that could have been made. Okay. Um, so if you want to consider Bill Belichick a great quarterback, that's revisionist history of the foggiest notion. That just means that, well, you remember those good old summer days, but you don't remember the rainy days or the cold days or the wet days or the icy days or the snow days. No, you don't remember when the bad things he did. You don't remember that, but I do. So losing, losing the quarterback like Tom Brady. Okay, losing the quarterback like well, you didn't even lose him, pushing him out the door. It's kind of damning if you want to say that Bill Belichick is the greatest coach. Uh, but what's even worse? The icing on the cake, the nail that blows a hole in the whole Belichick greatness conversation is what I brought up before. He got rid of Tom Brady for Cam Newton. Noodle arm Cam Newton. Yeah, yeah. The truth is, and let's just throw it out there so it sticks. And let's get this out the way. The truth is, Tom Brady made Bill Belichick. And when Tom Brady announced that he was, no longer a Patriot on March 17th, 2021, it was over. It was over for New England. Tom Brady made Bill Belichick. It was not the other way around. And when you push the greatest quarterback out the door for Cam Newton, you can no longer be considered the greatest the greatest coach, or even in the conversation. I mean, it's bad enough you have a losing record without Brady, but the fact that you, and then the guy goes on to get it, that just nails it. It's done. Conversation's over. So the repercussions of this, 5 years later, after a downward spiral, like a plane that's been shot out of the sky, the Patriots are still in that spiral because of what Bill Belichick did. And as I look back on it, I wish, of course, you wish him nothing but the best, but come on, people, stop the nonsense. Uh, it was Tom Brady all along. To quote a Godfather quote, it was Barzini all along, but no, it was Tom Brady all along in a good way. Um, well, happy Wednesday, everybody. That's my show for you today. Tom Brady revisited. Glenn McDonald on his birthday, which is actually in a couple of days, March 21st. And, Bill Belichick, seeing as he's the coach of North Carolina State. Let's see what's going to happen there. Let's see if he can improve his winning percentage in college. And I got to give my shout out to uh, Tom, well, WCRB, Channel 5 here. They actually brought this up, and they were talking about the Tom Brady thing, and Tom Brady revisited. And I think we have to remember how good it was when it was working here, when it was going good, and then the stark contrast of what it looks like now. I don't have high hopes for this. I mean, I might as well get it out there because what is it, March? So before this season even begins, the way that they've been hemming and hawing over things, uh, not being, uh, not committing themselves to winning or getting good contracts or getting good players that have been letting go for good contracts, um, which is one of the things Belichick would do. Okay, at the beginning, especially in the beginning. Yeah, they're just not decisive. This crew now with Elliott Wolf. So I don't expect more than a. Let me see. It's 17 games. I'm looking at something like 9-8. 9-8. Yeah, 9-8. And that's not gonna cut the mustard around here either because, well, New England fans are spoiled. They're used to winning. So happy birthday, Glenn McDonald. Thank you, Thomas Edward Brady. And I say that because St. Patrick's Day just gone by. And even to a point, thank you, Bill Belichick. But it just could have been handled like 95% better than it was. That being said, we're out of here. Let me see if I can put on a song that's not getting into some sort of copyright problem. I'm gonna have to contact me, an artist. If you're an artist out there and you want to sell me your song so I can use it as my bumper music, my intro and my outro music, my intro and exit music. Okay, yeah, just send it to me because every time I get a nice song and it says it's not, or I buy the license to it, somehow I'm still having copyright problems. Well, welcome to the well, whatever century we're in. We're in it. Welcome to 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good day. Have a good day. Goodbye, everybody. It's been fun. Bright, sunny day here in next week. No, I don't. No, next week. The week after that, I will be in Florida at our studios in Florida, getting a tan. Gosh knows I need it. I've been up here all year. I need a little sun and warmth. I've had a ball. You guys, take it easy. Enjoy yourselves.